Hi, I am your host, Henry Clavo, CEO and founder of Orlando Insight Group. Each episode, we dive into real conversations with technology leaders, innovators, experts who are shaping the future IT, data, cybersecurity, and also thought leaders. Our goal is simple to give you practical insights, real world strategies, and expert perspective that you can use to drive smarter decisions and stronger results for your business. And thank you for joining us. Our guest today is JD O'Donnell, a national recognized career strategist, executive coach, and talent development leader with more than 18 years of experience helping professionals and organizations clarify, communicate, and monetize value in increasingly competitive market. As a founder and CEO of Worker Daily, JT built one of the largest private career coaching platforms in the world, reaching millions monthly and guiding thousands of professionals in mastering career strategy, personal branding, and modern job search execution. Her work lives in the intersection of career development, recruiting, employer branding, and workforce transformation. In 2025, she launched ProVoice, a platform designed to help professionals turn their corporate knowledge and expertise into scalable income streams, empowering them to own their professional narrative instead of relying solely on traditional employment structures. JT has advised executives, led multi-million dollar divisions, trained thousands of professionals, and contributed to major publications, including INC Magazine, Fast Company. Across every platform, her focus is clear, helping individuals sharpen their professional signals so it cuts through the noise. So, on this episode of Orlando Insights, we explore what truly means to own your own professional signal in a noisy AI driven market and how to stand out, stay relevant, and build durable career capital when algorithms, automation, and attention scarcity define opportunity. Welcome, JT. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're here. Let's get started. You spent years in recruiting and HR before founding Working Daily. What did you see from the inside that most professionals never understand about hiring?
Yeah. So in the recruiting world, we get paid on the people we place,
Mm,
right? So we'll see a whole bunch of candidates, we'll vet them, and then we'll choose the best one for the organization. My challenge over those years were there were a lot of really qualified people that just, if they had been coached up a bit, if they understood how to present themselves, they would have had a shot at that job. And so when I made the switch, it was because I wanted to hop to the other side, take all this recruiter and HR knowledge and say, how about we empower the workforce so they can present themselves better and get those opportunities they want and deserve?
yeah, that makes sense, especially with the recent transition from pandemic to this new reality, and with AI, it is a learning opportunity as well as a learning curve for many who are still struggling to find work.
It is most definitely.
From a recruiter's perspective, what actually drives a yes versus a maybe when two candidates look similar on paper?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, first of all, let's talk about what's happening right now, because I would argue that recruiting has changed dramatically in the last 6 months because of AI. It actually created the death of the resume. And
Mm,
that's because so many people started using AI to create fake resumes to match themselves to jobs and ATS systems
mm,
that companies started getting hundreds, sometimes thousands of people that on paper were an exact match. And then when they went to reach out and contact these people and invest valuable time and energy in trying to talk to them, they'd find out they weren't a fit. So, what
mm.
do you do when suddenly you get papers that all look the same and you can't tell the difference? That is the current reality of recruiting. And it wasn't that way until the last 6 months. So now what has to happen is recruiters, before they reach out and contact somebody, they have to authenticate you. They actually, so it's not you being authentic in the sense of I'm being my real self. They literally have to make sure that you're a real human being.
Mm.
And that's where the shift has started to occur because they can't control that when you apply online. So, one of the things that we tell people all the time right now, if you're actively looking for work, the slowest and worst way to do it is to apply online. Because one, a lot of those jobs aren't real. They're bogus, they're fake, they're scam given the current market. But two, your chances of getting a call is around 0.4%. So the what's switching and what many recruiters are now moving to is something called quiet hiring, and this will be the new way that they will find candidates. They will go to a platform like LinkedIn. They will use it like a search database. They will put in key skill sets, and this very sophisticated AI driven algorithm will surface people that they believe are the right match. The big key there is that a right match isn't just that you have the right skill sets, but also that you are active and participating on LinkedIn so it can validate that you're a real human being. That is how recruiters are validating you today. So if you want to stand out against your competition, you should be heading straight over to LinkedIn right now and working on maximizing your presence, not just optimizing your profile, but maximizing your presence by commenting and posting thoughtfully and intentionally about your skills and abilities. This is how a recruiter validates you and how you get them in your inbox.
It makes sense. It's now easier for LLM generate content, marketing businesses. Now you get penalized. I think you mentioned this in your post. You get penalized for just posting a AI generate content on your post, stories that are not on authentic, just to fill the quota. So it makes sense that the power of individualism or being authentic is more viable now than before.
Most definitely.
And what myths about job searching or career growth do you wish would finally disappear based on your experience?
Yeah, I would love the death of the resume to be permanent, because a resume is a historical perspective of your past, and
Mm,
many people don't want to do what they've done in the past. They've got skills and ideas and things that they want to transfer into the future. But unfortunately, when you sit and use tools like resumes, all you're going to be eligible for are what you've already done. So I don't
mm,
like them. I also think there's too much, people don't know what to put on them, what not to put on them. It just creates a lot of stress. And this
mm,
is why you see people endlessly tweaking their resume and still not getting any results. So if we could kill the resume altogether, that would be my vote. But what has to replace that is
mm,
your capacity to document your knowledge, right? And this is something that we refer to at my company as a documentation streak. What most
mm,
people don't realize is that going forward, that will be your new normal. You will
mm,
have to regularly and consistently document what you're working on, why you're working on it, what problems you solve, what pain you alleviate, how you save or make money. You will need to articulate that so that sophisticated AI tools can read it, hear it, understand it, and then match you to opportunities. So job
mm,
boards as we know it are going away. The only type of job boards you'll see in the future are for jobs where they require so many people for them that they can't get all the people they need. For a
mm.
vast majority of us, that's not the kind of jobs we want. The jobs we want are going to be permanently hidden. Recruiters will search for people, and if they surface you, you will get a message. So understanding that you will have a career library and then do documentation, any habit that you have on a daily basis. That's why my company is called Work It Daily.
Yeah.
Once you understand that and get into the habit of that, it's not hard, but what it does is open up a vast amount of opportunity to you.
Now that makes sense, and that's why you started Pro Voice to help move along that next generation of work and environments. What when a person who is new to Working Daily and Pro Voice, what are you offering to help them move away from, resume tweaking, develop a cover letter? What are you doing to change that mindset?
Right. So for the first time in a very long time, people have to actually learn to look for work in a new way. Right. For the longest time, it's been put together a resume, maybe put together a cover letter, apply online, and go through the interview process.
Mm,
That's dead.
yeah.
So when you come into Work It Daily, the first thing we do is put you through something called a 7-day jump start.
Mm,
Very easy, 15 minutes a day. Again, we're called Work It Daily, not Work It All Day, because what we want you to do is make this feel very manageable to you.
mm,
And so that 7-day jump start is one, going to help you understand who you are as a professional, and two, how your LinkedIn profile, the profile part, should be optimized for search. Okay.
mm,
Once we get you through those basics, your basic brand is in place. We now have something called foundations. Again, 15 minutes a day, work at your own pace, that takes you through and helps you understand how all of this is working together. Right. So, what kinds of jobs are you interested in? What kinds of companies are you interested in? How do you get on their radar screen? What are you going to have to do in LinkedIn? And then, most importantly, how to create and document your knowledge in a way that isn't narcissistic, cringy, or desperate, but
mm,
actually feeds LinkedIn's 360 brew algorithm.
mm,
So one of the biggest things that we have a competitive advantage on is this 360 brew algorithm. I've been a top voice for 13 years running on LinkedIn. They give me early access to all of their features. When I saw what was coming with their AI tool for recruiting, and they said, we're going to update the algorithm to go with it, I knew we were having a massive internal shifting point for job seekers,
yeah.
that everyone was going to have to learn this idea of showing up in the algorithm. And so in our program, we teach you all the signals of 360 brew
Mhm.
and how you can signal to the companies and the recruiters that you want contacting you, knocking on your door. Right? So this is the process we take you through. And what I think makes this unique is having been doing this for a very long time, we know what content works and we create something called constraint. So the hardest thing people say is, I don't know what to post. I don't know how often to post. I don't know if this is working. Well, if we put constraint on it for you and say, hey, these are the 5 formats, tried and true. These are the things that you, for this job, need to be talking about. And here's how you put those all together. We take the guesswork out for you. And that's what our training does. But most excitingly, and something that we literally publicly launched last week after working on it for 2 years, is something called the Pro Voice Agent. This is an AI tool that we built that can take job descriptions that you're 100% match for, your optimized LinkedIn profile, and your goals, and we can literally produce what the next 20 posts should be about. Now, we don't write the post for you because, as I've said, it can pick up on that from an AI standpoint. But what we do is give you the constraint. Here are the 20 things you should write about. These are the formats they should be in. These are the points about your own experience you should highlight. Put it together. So it's very easy for somebody to go, oh, I wake up today, this is the thing I need to talk about, let me go. And this is what's creating massive, massive momentum for our clients, because one of the important elements of 360 Brew and getting found by recruiters is that documentation streak, is showing up every single day, Monday through Friday. You can take the weekends off, but that consistency with that specificity of the Pro Voice Agent is what very quickly gets you surfacing in recruiter results. And just as an example, I have clients who have literally been looking for work 6 months, a year, not getting any interviews, coming in, following this to the plan, and having 3 recruiters in their inbox within a matter of several weeks. Does it work overnight? No, because you have to have content, right? But on average, you're looking at a couple of weeks of where you're really posting consistently, and all of a sudden the algorithm understands you and knows what industry you're in, what skill sets you have, what jobs you want, and boom, you start to surface.
Is there another platform other than LinkedIn that employers or job seekers can use, or is just LinkedIn is the only place to get that job?
This is where LinkedIn has this unbelievable advantage right now, right? Like they've just kind of hit on a gold mine, because what happened was when AI started making people create fake resumes, there was no way to authenticate people anymore. LinkedIn is literally the only professional platform. Can recruiters try to use Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or Facebook? They could, but that's where people live their personal lives. LinkedIn has always been professional. So LinkedIn saw this advantage, right? And knew, gosh, if we really fix this algorithm and teach people to only document their professional selves, we win, and you've probably seen they've partnered with Clear, who does the TSA pre-checks, right? You can get yourself validated. There's no other platform right now where this can be found, and that's a huge competitive advantage. It's not happening on Indeed. It's not happening on any of those other job boards where there's a lot of bogus information.
Yeah, that makes sense. I cannot imagine another platform that does what LinkedIn does, but it could improve upon the messages, how to do marketing. I think that could be improved upon.
Yeah, here's the one thing I'll say. I remember when MySpace was launched, just to show my age, and everybody thought nobody will ever touch it. And now we don't even know what it is anymore. We thought, Facebook was the only one. Instagram came along, they bought them. Then we thought Instagram was end all be all, and along came TikTok. I think it would be short-sighted of LinkedIn to think that they'll only be the only ones. I actually believe you're probably going to see this year 2 or 3 competitors come out of the gate suddenly, because to your point, I think there's a lot of people that have frustration with how LinkedIn works, especially the younger generations who are used to a more sophisticated tool. So they definitely should be paying attention.
And there's another thing that interests me about you, JT, that you were in contact or working with someone who created a platform. Now you're partnering with this person to create video content or sell your personal content. And you mentioned stylish or be more, more different. Can you expand more on that?
Yeah. So there, part of the Pro Voice, in the book and in the methodology is that we should be trading our knowledge for money, not our time for money. That is one of the problems that we have, because as you grow in your career, eventually you cap out, and you see a lot of people where you can't make any more money for your time. In order to diversify your income streams, you need to really build out your brand. You need to be different. You need to catch attention. You need to be relatable to people. And so understanding that about yourself and building out what we call your UVA, your unique value add, is really critical to the success of that. But once you do that, then you start to really treat yourself like a business of one, that provides a service. And any good business is going to understand the benefits they provide. the problems they solve, the pain they alleviate, the money they save or make an organization. So when you start to really fine tune that messaging for your business of one, you now can create content that speaks to that and will get the attention of those individuals. And this is when you're able to start to monetize in different ways. One example is a partnership that I have with subs.com. Subs.com was actually built by the individual that built OnlyFans. And so when Tim Stokely built OnlyFans, he always envisioned it to be for all sorts of people, not just a spicy creator site. Unfortunately, in the startup phase and the first time building a business, that's what traction most, because that industry understood the fastest how important this would be. And so it ended up becoming well known as a spicy site. The problem is now there's a lot of people who would like to use that kind of technology, but don't want to go onto that site for not wanting to be associated with it.
Right.
So Tim left and sold his stake in OnlyFans and launched subs.com. And he launched it in this past May of 2025. It is better technology, same concept, but it works for all types of people, especially for professionals. And so I was really excited to partner with him. I have my own subs.com account where people can subscribe and they get to private message with me and I can offer them private content. It's simple, it's easy. And this is a beautiful example of how I see a lot of people in the future, like you, for example, Henry, monetizing your knowledge in a very specific way. Think of it like there's a lot of people who maybe don't necessarily need to bring you on site, don't necessarily need you to do like a big project for them, but would really kill to have you in their back pocket. Hey, I'm running this part of the company. It would be really good to run this by Henry in secret and then take that idea and make it my own. You'd have no problem charging them a monthly fee for the privilege of being able to message you. And that's the kind of future that we're going to see and is an ideal use of your Pro Voice.
And do you see that happening now, or is it still in early stages? When do you see that boom?
It's growing now. It's funny. Our industry, or the professional industry, I'll say, is sort of always last to adopt things like this. So where they're seeing big growth already is pro athletes, actors, people who have followings to begin with that can say, look, you want access to me? Here's a way to have access to me. Right. And as those grow, we start to figure that out and see it in ourselves. Where I think this gets interesting, I'll be honest, and where it brings it back to LinkedIn. LinkedIn now understanding that you have to document your knowledge and your content is really pushing video. Even though right now the algorithm doesn't listen to your entire video. It reads what you posted with the video and it pays attention to how long people watched your video, but it's not going to be long before their technology is evolved and they'll be listening to every video, which means video is going to win on LinkedIn. One, because that's what every other platform does. There's a reason for that, right? But two, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, we've heard that before, video's worth 1,000,000. So as you start to do video and then they can suddenly listen to that video, they can have such a better understanding of you and serve you up to more people. Very quickly, you're going to see some everyday professionals, project manager, IT manager, who, office admin, who have been documenting what they know and suddenly have millions of followers because they did video and all they did was serve their network and tell them what they knew. Those individuals will then turn on a subs account and start making subscription income. And that's not 10 years away. That's 10 months away.
Yeah, like the progress of innovation, AI, I believe you. It's crazy. Especially starting this channel, just trying to learn and find out what's the future, what are the indicators, what is the signal from the noise. So makes sense. What other exciting projects? I know that you were heads down releasing Pro Voice a couple months before we started. What other projects are in the pipeline for you, JT?
Yeah, so obviously the big launch that happened last week is the Pro Voice Agent. It's a coaching assisted agent. So when you join our membership program, you work directly with our coaches. And this agent can help you determine exactly what you should be putting in your feed to be found by jobs. The agent can help us determine your career pivot, like what kind of career you should move to next and how to do all of that. So for the first time ever, you can get an exceptionally high level of career coaching, the kind of coaching that literally would have cost you thousands of dollars per month for $79 a month. Right. So just think about the disruption that allows, like personalized working with coaches, building out your entire plan. That's exciting to us. And we're thrilled to be building that out at scale. But then the next big thing is that now that Pro Voice has been out and we've been building these voices, these individuals, you're now going to start to see Pro Voices as featured authors on our site. So Work It Daily as a website has been around since 2008 and has very, very high authority ranking on search SEO.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying SEO is dying. It's shifted, right? So Google's just announced, hey, we're going to take companies with pages with very high SEO, and they're not going to show up in AI answers. Right? So that gets interesting to us as a company because we have such a high authority ranking that we can loan that to our authors. So what you will see in the next year is that Work It Daily will actually become the next Huffington Post with one key difference. If you know way back when Ariana built the Huffington Post, she invited people to be authors and have their own columns for free. They didn't pay anything, but they got all of this, visibility of their brand and of their thoughts and their ideas, and it grew the Huffington Post very large. And then she sold it for $200 million. And all of the authors said, hey, you made all that money off the back of our work. Now, they were given free access and authority, and it was very hard to become a HuffPo writer. So I think there was some cachet there. But where it'll be different on Work It Daily is you actually will be paid. So we are now able to not only loan you our authority, get you into AI search results, get you visible, but you will also have the ability to profit from helping people come learn and be part of our program. There are millions upon millions of people who do not understand just how deeply job search has changed and how vital documenting your knowledge and posting it is. We are the authority on that. So when we do this and we have authors featuring, we will also have links on their page. And if somebody joins us based on what they learned from them and that they want to come and learn how to do their own authority, they will be compensated for that. So it's very exciting to us because it means there's a real credible way to pay our authors while also giving them this, vast amount of authority and access to a larger market, which we're really excited about.
No, that's an improvement from starting as a consultant and now to this big company. That's impressive. Congratulations, JT. That's incredible.
Thank you.
I guess to wrap up, now that what will you leave for our customers and our data and business community? Any insights that you will see in AI or in general happening for this year and 2027?
Absolutely. So AI is going to impact every single job. Every single job. So, the thing is companies don't see it as their responsibility to train you in AI. Right? Instead, they expect you to be out there on your own figuring it out. Think of yourself again as a business of one, as a service provider. Businesses always are responsible for staying cutting edge. It is your responsibility to understand what kind of AI is being used in your job because it's not AI will take your job. It's somebody who learned how to use the AI that will take your job. And so you have to lean into it on your own time and your own dime and figure out how AI is working. You want to be going into your organization saying, I've got ideas of how we can use AI to make things better. And I know people said, but wait, won't they put me out of a job? Not if you're the AI authority. Companies are very openly saying, we want people who are leaning into AI and figuring it out. Why would we have them leave? Because AI is going to keep coming, keep getting better. We want the people that are paying attention to it. So I would say everyone listening today, please, if you aren't studying AI tools, figuring out how to incorporate it into your work, bring it to your organizations, you're putting yourself at risk. Secondly, every job is temporary. What's going to happen now is jobs as we know it, where you stay at companies for a long period of time, that's already been disintegrating for some time, but it really is coming even faster. Companies just can't offer you a job and say, hey, I'm sure your job will be the same 12 months from now. There's no guarantees. So if you know that, then you have to understand that you have to always be marketing your business. And the only way to do that is by documenting your knowledge, using a tool like LinkedIn, pushing your information out there so that organizations can find you. You do not want to take your foot off the gas with that right now. Way too many people have their head down. They're going to lose their job and they're going to be starting from scratch trying to build their reputation. Whereas if you are working it daily and 15 minutes a day, documenting your knowledge and doing the simple things that can keep you relevant, you would always have inbound. And if for some reason you lost that income stream, you lost that job that you're in now, you would very easily be able to mobilize. So please lean into AI. Please learn how to document your knowledge. These are the two biggest things that I can advise everybody to do in 2026 because it is a very difficult job market.
Awesome, JT. Thank you so much for being part of the program. We're excited for your next, release and new product coming along. So we at Orlando Insight Group are supporting you, and thank you so much.
And thank you so much for what you do. I really enjoyed being on here.
Awesome. Take care. Bye.
Bye.